Oh, hey. Gosh, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Johnny Hansen, and well, these are my lofty thoughts. And today I have a bunch of different stuff I've written. I have days worth of notes worth of stuff because it's been a couple days. And boy, I've had some ideas. Some of them are quick ideas, and some of them will be a little more unpackable, I suppose. So they're going to be probably the next 2 or 3 episodes. I've got some stuff on former presidents, dead ones. So chill out. Anybody who has an opinion on current presidents or alive presidents, this is not that podcast. You're just not going to find that here. I don't care about that stuff. Or at least I don't care to broadcast it here. Gosh, what a fool that would be. How about I alienate half of the people that might want to listen? Brilliant. Or family members. Usually half your family members think something different than you. Cool, neat. And who knows? Opinions can change over the course of time, right? We've talked about that. Okay, let's not beat that up. In fact, what I wanted to say, I want to start it off with, man, family is everything. And that should be prioritized, period, point blank. And over a long enough course of time, you'll probably have some disagreements with some family members about some things. And I would encourage you to try to remedy those. We had a scare for one of our family members, my wife's father. He had something that he was nervous about, and he's a retired fella, and the ambulance was called just as a precaution. He was brought to the hospital and looked over. Praise God, everything's cool. But, you see something like that, and I raced over there. I happened to be, he lives about an hour from me, but I happened to be only about 8 to 10 minutes away when his wife called. My mother-in-law called. Hey, guys. And, boy, I raced on over there and was there as the same, maybe 2 seconds before the ambulance got there. And I recognized pretty quickly that he wasn't well, but I didn't with zero medical reason to believe anything. It didn't seem like a super duper panicky emergency. It seemed like, okay, the proper personnel are arriving as we speak, and you're going to be taken to a place where they all know what the heck they're doing there. And I'm just going to get the heck out of the way, and I'm going to say a prayer for you, my man, and love you, and we're going to see you at that place. We're going to all meet you over there, and everything's going to be awesome. And keep your head up. And then he's already cutting jokes. Paramedics are like putting him onto a gurney, and he's telling funny stuff, and they're laughing. And thankfully, the paramedics, God bless you guys, they were awesome. The firemen too that were there. Man, one of them stuck around afterwards and said, "Hey, I want you guys to know." And he just kind of said a few things that really put all of us at ease a bit. And gosh, that was super nice. And it just really, over the next 48 hours after that, really made us all reflect on how important family is, and how much, petty differences at any point in time are just that, petty. And they need to be quickly, in our household, we don't let the sun go down in our anger, as the Bible says. And we try to project that outward as to the best of our ability towards our family members. Sometimes, a family member doesn't leave a door open or a window open for you to get that message to them. We try to remain patient. We don't talk bad behind their backs. We just pray that they come back around to see a different side of things, and maybe their heart will be changed and not continue to be hardened. But we have pretty good relationships with everybody for the most part. And I just encourage you, if you're out there and you have any sort of conflict with family, especially as we move into this holiday season, because we're around the corner, week or so out from Thanksgiving as I record this. So you'll probably get this right before Christmas time, about 3 weeks fast, or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that, on this episode, on these lofty episodes. But take a minute this holiday season and really reflect on the value of that family if you can, and let those around you know you love them, and that's just going to be such a good deal for you. It's only going to work out to your benefit with every passing day and with every passing year as you become those that took care of you get older and need you to take care of them. A day will come when you become older, and you're going to need people to take care of you. And hopefully you were kind to those around you, and you showed them generosity and love, even sometimes when it's undeserved. And then they'll be there, and you don't have to be the old lady that we had to go replace some stuff on her roof for because she doesn't even have any family left. She's got some dogs and some cats. Boy, that's a fun story. I put a bunch of those little clips on social media and got some funny comments back on those. So that was pretty cool. Yes, I've started doing that. I got TikTok and I've got Instagram, YouTube. They're just kind of fun. Throw the stuff on there, and I'm more of a post and ghost. Sorry, and I don't follow anybody besides UPD, which is my other podcast with Andy, the Untrained Philosophical Discussionists. That's kind of all I want to do. All that other stuff, I don't have time for it. I have a ranch here. I've taken some videos and might have put some of that stuff on there. I forget, but I've definitely taken videos where I'm out in the land. There's too much stuff to do out here. I can't be following all this crap. My wife will send me some stuff and I'll check it out quick, and she checks out stuff quick that she thinks I'm interested in, but that's about it. So anyways, that's that. Now, next piece. I've talked about on the Untrained, the UPD podcast, I've talked about a Starbucks lady who, was originally had kind of a crummy attitude towards your host here, and how I was able to, help her to see that, or I was just patient with her one day. Really, that's what it is. I was patient with her one day when she wasn't patient with me. And I took the time to see her for the stress she was in and try to extend her some grace. And ever since then, she's been awesome. And there's some other awesome people that are there too. And there's this dude that works there. He's a young man. Young dude. Maybe, God, he's early 20s. And I hadn't been in there a couple weeks. I haven't been working in that area of town. Or it's a bit from me. So I haven't worked over that space. Anyways, I usually stop in there. That's where I get my Starbucks. My cold brew, if you don't know, gosh, I get an uncut cold brew, no ice. Why? Well, I can add ice later, and I don't like other stuff in my coffee. I just like a straight black coffee. That's it. So I get that, and anyways, I go in there the other day, and this young man sees me, and he's like, "Hey, oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever." And I was like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" He goes, No. Let me come around the counter. So this guy walks, he goes out and around the counter to give me a hug. Now, so many of my friends that know me know I'm not a hug guy. I don't care for hugs. We didn't do a lot of hugging in the Hanson Werner house, as you met my brother a couple episodes ago. That's the Werner side. That's Dad's side. He's my half brother, but who cares? He's my brother, obviously. Can you see that we look bloody very similar? And he was so happy to see me, this young man, and as someone that doesn't like hugs, I accepted a hug anyways because he offered it, and because it was so genuine, and it almost caught me off guard. And what is a rejection like that? I'm called to to be. As the person I want to be, I would like to always put off positivity towards others and compassion and caring, because a part of my heart does all that. I'm fighting against the other side of myself that grew up a different way, grew up in a way where you don't touch me, ugh. And I'm trying to be more receptive to how other people's affections come across. And frankly, it's interesting because this generation, though we give the 20-somethings and 30-somethings a hard time, and I do think some of their crap goes way too far. There's some weird guilt crap that causes a lot of issues for society. But some of it isn't so bad, and some of that, we've talked about it before, but, your brain releases serotonin when you receive touch, especially a wanted touch, obviously. A nice touch, kind touch. Something happens there. God designed our bodies this crazy way where if somebody touches you, your brain releases a chemical that feels good. If they touch you in a positive way, if somebody touches you in a bad way, it's the opposite. But this is a positive one. And part of my brain shifted, I think, a little bit on that, because I was thinking some time ago, and I've talked about this here, a garbage man from my old neighborhood before I moved, he's seen me in a neighborhood painting some houses because that's what we do. And he jumped out of his truck and goes, "Johnny!" And his name's Johnny. I go, "Johnny!" And he goes, "Get the friggin' heck over here." He might not have said friggin'. And I ran across and I was like, "Hey," and I thought we were just going to, do like a high five or a handshake, sort of, how guys do it, do, what's up? No. This guy grabbed my hand and then he just gave me a big old hug. He's a big old dude too. He's like a football player guy. And he just gives me a big old hug, and I hugged him back because who the heck cares? And I just thought it was so sweet. And I've had that a bunch lately, where kind people, or people have kindness to say, and they're kind. Yeah, they're certainly kind. But they have nice things to say, I guess, because I guess it reflects some of the ways that I've been treating them. And now that we're in this holiday season, maybe, I'm just starting to feel like a little bit more holiday-ish towards others, and a little more... I'm more receptive to these kind of things. Don't get it twisted. Local friends, especially you from church, this isn't an open door hug factory. You sneak up on me and you touch me when I'm not ready for it, and you get something violent, bad in return. That's how I react. See, these guys from a distance, I can see it coming, I can anticipate it, and I don't know they're going to shank me in the back. You goofballs, some of you will sneak up and try to hug me from behind. What are you, nuts? I'll throw you over my back and I will drop elbow in your face, break your nose and jaw. I'm serious. Don't ever do it. God, I hate to get that truthful, but yo, I had guys do that before. And then I'm like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" And I push them back in the chest hard. They fall backwards and they're like, "Whoa, whoa." And everybody's like, "Oh my God, Johnny, you're so nuts." I'm like, some strange man grabbed me from behind. How do you react? Anyway, getting back to the sweetness. God, I can ruin a nice thing, huh? Quick. I just think that, clearly there's something for these more casual acquaintances that they're receiving that I don't feel like I was ever putting out in life before. And I think I'm being more intentional towards taking a minute. I've spoken about this, but just taking a minute when I'm in a place to speak to somebody and to hear them out and be willing to take whatever amount of time it takes to actually hear them when you say, "How you doing?" And then mean that. And then hear them. And then maybe respond in fashion to what they're speaking about, rather than just waiting for your time to talk. Been doing more of that, and I think the byproduct to that is more people excited to see me when I come into a place. So I said it. I'm kind of going the extra mile now. I had to have I bought some new tires. I had them put on, and the guy behind the counter is a nice man. And as we were chatting, he's like, "I think we can do better on these tires." And I think it's because I took some extra time with him. And better was like a third of the price. He's like, "Oh, do it this way." And I can't tell you because, I can tell you because he can't get in trouble. I won't say the place. He goes, "Listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this up as a nail in the sidewall, and we can get some pretty killer prices here. Let's see." And he's like, "Oh yeah, look at this." It was like $1,000, or it might even been $1,200. And then he's like, $398. Yes. So, 2 tires for $398. Put on, rotate it, in the warranty. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do that instead of $1,200. So that was pretty awesome. So there are good outcomes from this every time, even if it's just a hug, even if you don't like hugs, or you haven't liked hugs in the past, maybe you can have these good outcomes. And then, let's talk about this one. Where are we at? Oh, we got plenty of time. Hallelujah. I had to put down the goat with the huge testicles. Yeah. I have a video of it somewhere. I'm hoping to maybe slide that in here. Look at him. He just stares. What is it? You son of a bitch. I can't even see. My eyes are covered with fur and you won't take it off? I hate you. That's what he thinks. Look at those testicles. You see him? See him shaking there? See him in the breeze? There he goes, sniffing. He's going to get into the assault of the white goat. That's how it starts. He rubs her butt on his face. Who hasn't done that a time or 10? And then he gets going. But he was aggressive, and he was constantly being aggressive on everybody. On my in the final straw was on my brother with my nephew, who's only 2.5. He like leapt over this thing, and he went down at them, and I was like, no. And my brother came in the house later that day, and he goes, "Hey, you've been talking about getting rid of that goat, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm ready to help you." And I said, "Oh, great," because I knew it was going to take, just 160-pound goat in testicles alone, let alone the body weight. I don't know. I think it was probably 700 pounds. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but the testicles were every bit of 150. And we had to take its legs and lob them over the fence because there's other goats. I want them getting out. Anyways, point is, as I've been known to say with hornets, when I killed them and looks like a dead guy to me, and I cut him in half with the scissors. I took this goat out with some 1980s action movie words where I said, "You've committed your last sexual assault on this hobby ranch." I screwed it up. I said, "You've taken your last sexual I screwed it up again. Anyways, point is, I said something. Oh, crap. Yeah, I said, and I didn't say sexual assault. I said the R word, but you can't say that on these stupid platforms, because if you say that, it'll flag you, which I already got flagged on Instagram and shut down for multiple days. I didn't have any videos up yet. All I had put on was my picture. It's so offensive that they flagged my stuff and cut me off for days. And then I had to send in an email for them to review my account. And they go, "Oh, sorry, just an accident." And they didn't say why they did it, and they never gave me an excuse or anything. It's just like, "No, it's back on. Best of luck to you in the future. But there's one strike." Okay, neat. So now I can't say any words, and then it screws up the rhythm of my speaking and thinking. Thank you very much, Mark Zuckerberg. I thought when you were on Rogan, you were going to do something else. You were going to start blazing a new trail, Mark. That didn't happen yet. I'm shocked. You mean you said something and don't follow through with it? Jeez, like every other punk bitch out there. Talk a lot of smack because you got on the show, and then nothing ever comes of it. Let's hope that doesn't affect your bottom line. Okay, but I put that goat down, and I had my, y'all use whatever you want when you got to put down your stuff. I put mine down with I have a beautiful, I think I've mentioned this before, I have a SIG 22 LR, and all I had to do, it shoots 22s. It just shoots 22s, and it's got a faux suppressor on the end. So this thing, it's long enough. It's rifle length. It's a carbine style 22 rifle. And all I had to do, and my brother's coming up behind me. We rode the UTV over so we could throw its carcass up in there. And my brother goes, "You just gonna do what? How are you gonna?" And you guys saw him. He goes, "How are you just gonna do that?" And I go just like this, and I go, "Hey, Loki!" And he comes trotting over. Dun, 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 dun. He doesn't have any idea. He doesn't know what a carbine is, or why somebody would have one, or that it's about to end his life. And I just go, "Hey, buddy, you've committed your last sexual assault on this ranch." And I just went to the chest, like right here. And then he bucked up, and then one to the head. Gunk. And, there's still some spastic movements from the body. And I told my wife, I said, "Honey, I'm going to go put the goat down." She goes, "Yeah, somebody needs to. This is just chaos." And I said, "I know." And we tried to sell him. Nobody'd buy him. A goat pisses all over its face and pisses all over itself. And, oh my God, the male goat is so nuts. And then when it's trying to get at the other goats, they're getting crazy, and then it'll screw a pig. It screws the pigs. It screws the goats. It screws everything. And that's the only reason it even attacks humans, is because it's trying to screw the humans. That's what these things do. Point is, it had to go. It had to go. It fights off all the other goats, all the female goats for food. It'll just sit there and ram them as they're trying to eat. And we got to like hit the thing back. And then it's hitting my wife. That's unacceptable. So she was time to go. And I said, all right. And I think she just wanted to see what it's like to shoot and kill something like that. And then she didn't like it. She's like, I thought it was going to be dead right away. And I was like, it was dead the minute I shot it. 3 times, 2 to the heart and one of the head, like dunk, 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 because there's no recoil. This isn't, and I was like 6 feet from it. It's impossible missing with this thing. Bump, bump, bump. That fast. My brother will say it. When he comes back next year, we'll do another recording. I'll try to remember to have him say something, but I'm telling you, 2 seconds. And the thing, and then it just kind of like, and kind of moves around, but everything's chaos. Its body's just having these last spastic movements from the nerves. That's it. And and that's when my wife walks around the corner and she goes, and I go, hey, he's dead. And she goes, why is he still moving? And I go, it's cool, just go in. I don't know why you came out here to see this anyways. And then she skedaddled, and then she asked me about it later, and I said, honey, you got to understand. This thing is so dead. It was so dead. Instantly. But its body still got to react, which reminds me of like these horror stories I've heard on the High Love Black Rifle coffee, as you've seen me drink it here a bunch of times. They have a podcast. And one of those guys has his own specific podcast. I forget what it's called. Sorry, fellas. But he talked about people dying in the field of battle and how they don't die right away. And even if they are dead, they sometimes don't know it. So like things will happen. You've heard of a chicken with its head cut off. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that still is going to happen. Every once in a while, you get a kill shot that's instantly lights out. I've not done that. Maybe I'm just not as good a marksman as some of these people. And that's true. For sure, that's true of any of those guys, I'm sure, or most people you'd watch doing excellent. But I do practice quite a bit, and especially with that 22 LR, because that's fun. That's, 2 cents per round, so you can actually get 1,000 rounds in, and you haven't, ruined your house's entire investment portfolio. But anyway, I guess I beat that to death. Those guys talked about it on their podcast about like somebody doesn't die right away. And I just don't want to go too deep into that because that's pretty scary content. But yeah, even for animals, shooting a deer doesn't die instantly. Pig doesn't die instantly. Sometimes you get lucky, you hit it. It's never happened for me. There's always still a lot of those movements. And then if you don't understand what's happening, it can look like, oh my God, it's in pain. What's going on? No, its body is shutting down. It just takes an extra second because there's a lot of nerves that are still firing. And, that's the reaction of any animal. I've watched a bunch of hunting videos too. And, they'll shoot like an elk. That thing still gallops on for 50 yards. And then it falls. Not always. Sometimes they get it and it falls. And sometimes you'll spine it. And its back's broken and it'll sit there and flip its head around. I did that with a deer forever ago. My father did. But yeah, anyways, the goat didn't do much. Bounced for about 3 seconds and then was dead as the day is long. Just super dead. So then we threw it over and we tried to consider what we wanted to do, like some Viking burial where we put it in a boat and send it off, because his name was Loki. We thought we'd honor him. We didn't do that. We did something else, which is I didn't want to dig a hole. And it's hot still in Florida. I know it's late November and it's still hot. Yeah, 95 freaking degrees every single day for some god-awful reason this year. We carried it deep into the Ocala National Forest because there's lots of things out there that would love to get at a piss on itself goat. So that's what we did. We carried it out there, and what do you know, it's gone. my God. Drove back down that trail 24 hours later. There wasn't a sight of it. You'd never know there was anything even there. Maybe a bear took it or anything. Things will just go when you drop them off in the woods, just in case anybody ever wants to dispose of something. I'm not saying you should do anything, but I'm just saying. There's gators out here, too. There's gators everywhere. If you're in Florida, there's gators. Seen one. Well, are we too... this is getting long. I'm sorry, guys. Jeez. I told you guys we would keep this 20 to 30. This is about 25. So thank you so much for joining me. Family is everything. Please take the time this holiday season to forgive old trespasses and to try not to create new trespasses on folks, and try to reestablish those awesome connections that maybe you haven't had with someone that you miss. And then, appreciate every moment that you get with everyone that you have, because those don't last forever sometimes. Ever, actually. Starbucks guy, garbage man. Thanks, guys. You're changing my mind on this whole hugging thing. Friends that might hear this and think, oh, it's time to hug Johnny. I wouldn't. It's still a risk. You never know what could happen. B, from the front, you can ask. If I already know you, you better ask. If not, you might lose some wind in your lungs because I'll punch you in the chest. And then put down the goat with huge nuts. You'll see a little clip of it. That's what that's going to be, and you won't see any more new clips from that goat because he's a gizon. Boy, my name is Johnny Hansen, and these were my lofty thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I just want to pray that you have a deep and a fulfilling relationship with Jesus, and that he blesses you all the days of your life. Have an awesome afternoon. Thanks again.